The MAGA party doesn't give a shit about kids. They are not pro-life. They are opportunistic liars. Every last one of them, from Kanks at the top of the ticket to the people that live in rural America who have had their faith weaponized against them. They sit and fight for the rights of billionaires. It's unbelievable how effective the MAGA movement has been to get people that make $40,000 to $50,000 a year to fight for Elon Musk's rights. It's wild. But in illustrating how much they do not care about law and order, human beings, life, children, we can look no further than the stalling of the Epstein case. And one big promise from all of the people in Trump's cabinet, from Pam Bondi to Cash Crazy Eyes Patel to Dan Bongino to the vice president, Lil Smokey, we're going to release the Epstein files. We're going to expose this, all of these people. And they haven't. They haven't exposed it at all because Kanks is cankles deep, right in the middle of the Epstein files. But Robert Garcia is the chairman of the Oversight Committee of the House, and I want to play this clip of him.
Frankly, after those comments by Mr. Lutnick, we need to speak to him. The entire Oversight Committee, we're very interested in understanding what exactly he knows, where those theories come from. And anyone, particularly if you're in the Trump administration and you are saying those comments so freely, you have to have additional information. So you can believe that we're going to follow up. It is outrageous that we've had a subpoena for all these documents and there's no release of the documents. We've got very little information. And we know there are a lot of people have information within the administration that could be helpful to our investigation. Clearly, there is some here, and clearly we need all the files released.
Okay, Pumps, tell the listener what Howard Nutlick said.
Okay, so Howard Lutnick,
And I like to call him Nutlick.
I like that too.
Okay.
He goes on in an interview and says how sleazy and disgusting Jeffrey Epstein was. He was invited over to his home and he went with his wife because it was so big. And Jeffrey Epstein opens up a room that he thinks is like a ballroom and it's massage tables. And he says, "How often do you get a massage?" And Epstein says, "Every day. And it's the good kind of massage." And he said he was so creeped out and so grossed out. This is one time he was over there that he never went back. Further, he said Jeffrey Epstein was a master blackmailer, that he recorded men in compromising positions to have the hold over them and the blackmail over him. So my question is, Donald Trump's best friends with him for 15 years. You have report after report after report. Donald Trump's in the house. Donald Trump's in pictures with him. He's at parties. You know, Epstein's.
Don't forget about this. Wolf, is it Michael Wolf? He said that there was a photograph of Trump in Epstein's possession with underage girls, topless, I believe. I'm not 100% on that, sitting in Trump's lap with a wet spot at the crotch, meaning he, you know.
Yeah. So you cannot sell me on this thing that Howard Nutlick, who is the biggest dipshit of all time.
And Trump ass kisser.
Oh my gosh, lips plastered to Trump's ass.
Laughs at all of his non-jokes.
Thinks he's hilarious. Yeah. You can't tell me he picked it up in one time at Epstein's house and Trump's running around with him for 15 years and he never picked up on it.
But we all know that Trump likes underage girls because he told Howard Stern that he would date as young as 12, that, 11 would be too young, but 12 and up was fine. We all know that he bragged about going into the Miss Teen USA and seeing naked teenagers without their consent because he owned the pageant and he needed to inspect them and nobody could say anything to him about it. We know that he has no problem whatsoever with pedophilia or sexual abuse because some of the January 6ers that he pardoned had this previously on their records, and he blanket pardoned every single one of them. He didn't look and see. So this is a man who himself is a criminal, surrounded himself with criminals. And so we have a criminal president that hung out with a pedophile for 15 years, knows exactly what he was up to. He himself is on record talking about how much he likes teenage girls, talked about how he wanted to fuck his own daughter.
Yeah.
And so none of this is surprising. But let's move along here to here's a congressman I really like, Raskin. Play the clip.
Started, and it also is not lost on anyone that shutting the government down allows them not to swear in our new colleague, Ms. Grijalva from Arizona, who would be the 218th signature to discharge the Epstein files and to put a vote on that on the House floor. So it's convenient for them to shut the government down, and they're not interested in making government work for our constituents.
Okay. Evangelical Christian, big Christian, Moses Mike Johnson, who claims that he and Jesus Christ are BFFs. He refuses to swear in a woman who is democratically elected and is subverting democracy to protect pedophiles. So that's what evangelical Christianity is right now, you guys, white evangelical Christianity. It is a cult that protects pedophiles, which makes sense because when you look at all of the churches, Southern Baptists, the Nazarenes, the Pentecostals, it is rampant with this kind of stuff, with youth pastors and other pastors. And they, of course, are protecting pedophiles because Moses Mike Johnson himself, in my opinion, is a DL demon queen who apparently, according to TikTok right now, has a Grindr profile that's out there that the press is vetting right now, which we've been calling on that forever. And he has a boyfriend, roommate that he lives with in DC. And when Moses gets home from work, this man answers the door in his panties. Okay. But what's lost in all of this are these are little girls. These are people's daughters that were poor, that were preyed upon by Ghislaine Maxwell and by and raped by Jeffrey Epstein, and then all of these other gross men like that. What's the prince?
Andrew.
You know, and every single one of them, I don't care if it's Democrat, I don't care who it is, they all need to be exposed. And something that just slipped through the news cycle that is just so disturbing to me, the FBI did a sting operation a couple of months ago in Las Vegas. And they lured in a Israeli government official who thought that he was going to meet up with like a 13-year-old, I believe. And the United States government just sent him back to Israel, just sent a pedophile back to Israel. That's where the United States government is right now. We are a government that is protecting pedophiles in the name of then, oh, but wait, we're big Christians. And wink, wink, I'm Moses Mike and I'm not gay. I mean, come on.
Well, and let's not forget this administration brought back Andrew Tate to the United States of America. RFK says, I've been on Epstein's plane 3 times. The donors, the members of cabinet, Ghislaine Maxwell said, lots of members of Trump's cabinet were good friends with Epstein. But here's the deal. I'm with you. The reason people are so easy to accept this type of behavior is because they've grown up in churches and they've seen it their entire lives, and it's gross and it's demeaning. And if Marjorie Taylor Greene and Nancy Mace can have one moment of clarity on protecting victims and not calling it a hoax, then super Christian Moses Mike, I stand on my Bible to take a shit. He needs to be out there doing it, but he's not.
He can't because he has secrets.
Yes.
And secrets keep you sick. That's one of the very first things I learned in therapy.
Right.
Secrets keep you sick. And so you have the members of this administration that are broken, that inner childhood issues, and are emotionally stunted. And they all have a litany of secrets. Moses Mike, in my opinion, his secret is he likes to eat ass with his roommate that answers the door in his panties. And then as a side hustle, he has an pray the gay away camp, which no straight man that has self-actualized masculinity would give a fuck if somebody else was gay.
Right.
It's just the only people that think about gay people are gay people. I think about gay people because I hear all these DL demon queens demonizing, browbeating gay people. And by God, not on my watch. I'm going to stand up for them. And so this party this political party, you have all of these people that are so broken, and then the people who have found them as leaders are broken. And it's like we need to start opening up. If we ever save democracy, we really need to open up like government funded therapy centers for people to get deprogrammed from their religious abuse that they suffered, where, what's so gross about, you hear about a lot of evangelical families that somebody's the parent of the dad, a friend of the dad kind of touched the girl a little bit. And the mom said, well, that's just boys being
Right.
boys. There's this constant cover up of inappropriate sexual stuff within overt religious communities. You see it from the Mormons, you see it in evangelical Christians, you see this brazen hypersexuality stuff behind closed doors, and then they're told to sweep it under the rug, and then outwardly they act like they're these big prudes. It's a really, really weird dynamic. But moving along, let's hear from this congressman about Kank's Epstein.
Are ready as Democrats to keep the government open and to save your health care. But where in the world are our Republican colleagues? There's more mentions of Donald Trump in the Epstein files than there are House Republicans here in Washington, D.C. today.
I mean, and there you have it. You have a sitting convicted felon, president of the United States, Kanks, who was all over the Epstein files, who, Kash Patel made himself a famous podcaster because all he broadcast about was either Hunter Biden or the Epstein files. That's it. That's the extent. And he has a law degree.
Right. And he would lead us to believe in testifying before Congress, somebody that sat on a podcast for years and years and years talking about the Epstein cover up, that he becomes the director of the FBI and doesn't read the files. Like bullshit.
Totally. He's read them.
Oh,
He knows that Trump is in it. And these people are such cowards. They stand up for like this man with dementia who's like 85 years old, who wears makeup and a diaper and has swollen ankles and clearly has many strokes. I've seen him, it looks like he's stroking out all the time. Remember the 9/11 was all, and they sell out for this man's fragile ego. But I want to jump, Kylie, to clip number 5. This is how every single Democratic politician should answer every question in front of the press moving forward. Play the clip.
Look, the president's an idiot. He doesn't actually understand how the military works. The first thing it's going to be is that most U.S. citizens.
Okay. Right there. And then he goes on to say, talking about the military, you can't turn the United States military against its citizens. You can't declare war against your own citizens. And this is something that really is getting lost because Schumer and Hakeem are out there fighting the sombrero hat thing and taking the bait instead of saying, this guy has dementia and he's a fucking moron. Who is running the country? Because he just declared war on America when we have Putin and we have China and we have all of these other issues, geopolitical issues. He has dementia. And the way Ruben Gallego just answered that, the president is an idiot. Every Democrat take notes, demean, browbeat, ridicule these people, start playing the same game they're playing, because this integrity politics and being on defense all the time and acting like a pussy is getting us nowhere.
Well, and I think when they go on those Sunday shows and they're asked questions about the government shutdown, I would say we're in a government shutdown for a number of reasons. One of which is Mike Johnson is covering up the Epstein files because he knows Donald Trump is in there. Like, start with that. Put it on him. Mike Johnson is a hypocrite. Donald Trump is a criminal, and they are corrupt and covering up the Epstein files. In addition, it's just not that hard.
It's not. And leadership starts from the top. And despite us not having it, and we hear Hakeem and Chuckles, I hope, strongly worded letters, and my Republican colleagues, stop with that game. We're playing two different games here. You're playing the Merrick Garland game, and the Merrick Garland game got us this term. You have got to start pointing out that we are abdicating our power for 3 foreign-born billionaires that think they have the right to come into our fucking country and tell us we can't have a democracy anymore. Start talking about that. Start talking about the fact that Trump cares more about Argentinians and Israelis having health care than he does the very people that voted for him. Start talking about the fact that Moses Mike Johnson is a hypocrite Christian that protects pedophiles. Period. You cannot imagine, Hakeem and Chuck, you just can't imagine those abysmal polling numbers for the Democratic Party would flip. At this point, I don't know that you can right the ship. At this point, I think you need to just sit down, shut the fuck up, and let a couple of fighters take over. That's my opinion.
I completely agree with you.
All right, subscribe to our show. We'll be back later with more news.